America, I got some bad news, but then I got some good news, and then I got some more good news. Well, let's start with the bad news and get that out of the way. ChatGPT and we ran some figures today, and because of that big federal case motion I filed last week, I kind of felt like digging into some things. And the bad news is we're not quite done hemorrhaging yet because we still got to charge all these people that have stolen from us, and there's going to be a cost associated to that, unfortunately. And the first part involves just a little bit of math, but thank God ChatGPT did all the heavy lifting because I'm not a mathematic. Basically, the fiscal annual budget for the Department of Justice is around $37.52 billion a year, which includes FBI, ATF, U.S. Marshals, blah, blah, blah. All that investigative and arresting branches of the federal injustice system. Then you actually have the administrative office in the system itself. That's another $7.8 billion. So total budget, $45.32 billion a year to prosecute federal crimes in the United States, give or take. So what's that cost per case? Well, we got some numbers from 2021. There were 57,287 federal criminal cases tried in 2021. So we're close. We're close enough for government work, that's for sure, because math really isn't like to the decimal point when it comes to our government. So how much does that cost? Well, it's $45.32 billion a year in total cost because we wouldn't need any of those departments if we were just angels and we were all crime free. Divided by the 57,287 cases comes out to $791,500 per case. It's a big number, but again, we wouldn't need any of those departments if we didn't have any crime. So, you know what? It's a true cost of doing business, as far as I'm concerned, and it's close enough for government work. I know, it's a lot of math. Don't scroll yet because you're going to miss the good part. You're going to want to hear this because I got a surprise for you at the end. So, how many criminals are there in our federal government, do you think? Oh, I really don't know. It seems to me like a lot. But, there's also a lot of employees in the federal government, millions and millions and millions. So ChatGPT and I broke it down, and we figure in the federal civilian leadership, including elected officials, if you look at people who have the power or position to control money, put it that way. Not everybody gets to slide out, and it seems like there's a lot of it going on. You buy lunch on the credit card and stuff, but whatever. We're not going to count that. We're just talking about, maybe they're on a committee and they're in charge. It doesn't have to be big, big millions. It could be, hundreds of thousands. It could be whatever. So if you look at the total number of employees that have that kind of a power, that manage budgets and control contracts and procurement, about 115,000 federal civilian employees with leadership level access. But my Lord, we had to throw the military in there because I hear this week there's been a couple of active duty military people arrested as well as a retired for doing some extortion and bribery. Man, that's a big number there. We got like 1.3 million active duty military. But we're, National Guard and Reserves, 800,000, civilian DOD, 700,000. But we're going to bring that down to people just have that high enough level they could be steering money, off one way or another. So I think we called that around about 100,000. Okay. And that's being way more than fair, I'm sure, because the guy that does the supplies, he probably has all the stuff. He's got the good stuff because he's got the book, right? That's where you get your extra socks and stuff for them and your, little things of Tabasco sauce. But so the total estimate of individuals and positions with financial or procurement power, it's about 365 to 500, about 500,000 people in the military and federal government. So this is where we're going to be really, really, really nice. And we kind of cut that in half to around 250,000 people with access to really, really burn us. And we're just going to apply a 1% hypothetical corruption rate. Just only 1% of those individuals will commit that kind of, crime. So we're looking at about 4,000 or 5,000 cases. That's not good news. That's where the bad news comes in. We're looking at let's just call it 4,500 cases. Okay. At 791,500, that's $3.56 billion. I mean, so guess what? We're going to be shelling out another, $3.5 billion just to charge these sons of bitches for stealing from us. I mean, isn't that a bitch? But I'll tell you what, this is where the good news, this is where it turns. I have some good news. Me, individually, Tabasco Esquire, figured out a way to save us a whole bunch of money. All right, hang on with both hands, kiddos, because this is where it gets fun. I'm going to cut that down to 555 cases from 4,500 cases. How the hell are you going to do that, Tabasco? Tabasco Esquire, I'm on the case. and I do it legally too. Who's heard of the Racketeering, Influence, and Corruption Organization Act? I know if you're in the MC life, you've heard of RICO. We've all heard of RICO. We've been threatened with it so many times. To the rest of you, what is RICO? It's a bucket of shit that they just basically collect and throw at everybody. Because if you know that guy, you must be guilty too, because you dress like him, or you're wearing the same patch, or I don't know what. You'd think it'd be more like, they wear the same uniform or whatever. But anyway, that's what it's about. So you get to prove you're innocent instead of, actually them proving you're guilty because they're just fucking lazy. And half the time, half the guys aren't even guilty anyway, but they just use it to ruin lives. And what is so exciting for a retired MC leader like myself is the fact that you use this against the federal government. Yes, the government can be charged with RICO. Yahtzee. So let me tell you the elements of the RICO is a criminal enterprise, a group of organization that regularly engages in illegal activities. Since about 1776, pattern of racketeering activity. This is just the predicate for the RICO Act. Predicate crimes including 35 crimes like bribery, money laundering, wire fraud, murder, and drug offenses. Bing, bang, boom, ding, 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 winner. Care to spin again? Criminal and civil liability. Individuals can face up to 20 years in prison per count, along with financial penalties. Now, I personally know some people that got wrapped up in RICO, and I'll tell you what, it sucks, especially when you're not guilty, because not guilty. But I'm telling you what, as far as how does it apply to the government officials? Again, the predicate crimes are official commits 2 or more qualifying offenses like bribery, extortion, money laundering, fraud, or obstruction. 2 or more within 10 years. Oh, they got some fucking passes there, don't they? I guess this is expected you're going to go in here and pull a little bit of this shit, aren't you? Time you get elected. But they can be charged with RICO. Enterprise definition. The enterprise actually can be a government office, agency, or political organization. Bingo. Criminal versus liability, civil liability. Officials can face up to, again, 20 years per offense in prison and forfeiture of all their assets. Civil lawsuits, triple damages for victims. Bingo, Yahtzee, got it. It's like snake eyes, triple. I mean, notable cases. There have been many RICO cases. Notable. I don't honestly know of that many RICO cases against the federal government or even police departments, like it says, and judges. Could be a whole lot busier. But so there are 555 agencies and or departments in the federal government. We don't need 4,500 because I'm telling you what, they're going to qualify that we can just charge the 555 individually with RICO, and then we just swoop everybody up, and they're all guilty for everybody, and it even gets better than that. Okay, here comes a double whammy of savings. 555 cases times 791,500 equals $439.28 million, not the billions that I'd said. So that is a savings of $3.12 billion. You're welcome, America. Where's the button at? Even better, that's an $11.15 return to you, the taxpayer of 280 million taxpayers. It doesn't sound like much, but if you go to Arby's and get the large roast beef with no lettuce or tomato or anything like that, and you get the free packets of shit, and then you ask them for a cup of water out of the sink, it's fucking free lunch, man. You know what? Yes, you paid for it once. I understand that. But here's the thing. You never expected to see that $11.15 back, did you? I know you didn't. So who says there's no such thing as a free lunch? Hey, Elon, this shit really ain't that hard. Pam, you're welcome, and I'm available for some, private counseling if you know. And I live in Florida. Keep it real.